I know everybody is sick of hearing the CM Punk AEW story and the rumors about a potential buyout of CM Punk's contract, but I got the latest on all of the investigation. Is Punk set to retire from the world of professional wrestling? Also, 5 NXT releases on Monday. Who are they? I got them right here on OTS. Sasha Banks and her return. What's up with Sasha Banks coming back to the WWE? Where is Kevin Owens? And who is the female that will be countering Judgment Day, courtesy of the OC? I got the name on who that will be going into Survivor Series. All this plus so much more right here on Off the Script. Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. I got a little bit of extra for you. It is November 1st, 2022. I am JD from New York, as always, coming to you from the OTS venue. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Tuesday afternoons, wherever you may be. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. I may have to be paying for my verification, according to Mr. Elon Musk. So now everybody needs to pay $8 to stay verified on social media, or if you want to be verified, obviously with the proper analytics to go along with it. I mean, they're not going to be verifying everybody, but $8 a month via Twitter Blue, man. I don't know if you guys heard that story, but listen, follow me on Twitter, man. I'll still be over there. I'll still be verified. I'll still have my check mark at JD from NY206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. 1,000 likes. You guys know the deal, man. I need 1,000 likes minimum on today's OTS Extra. And if you missed the Monday Night Raw podcast and that absolutely banger of an episode 450 on Sunday, where I do address, and I hold absolutely nothing back, address the Jade Cargill situation on social media. Make sure you guys go check all that stuff out. It is on the homepage if you missed any of the content from the podcast. We're going to start off hot. We're going to start off hot, man. NXT releases. Who are they? Brian Alvarez mentioned on Monday that NXT had releases happen on Monday afternoon, and it was reported today that 5 names have come up, and they are now released from the company. I can think of several people in NXT that should be released for one reason or another. Now, these are only 5 names as of today. There could be more as the week goes on. We do not know, but as of right now, we have 5 names. According to Brian Alvarez, confirmed by PW Insider, the names are Sloane Jacobs. Who's Sloane Jacobs? I don't know. The 19-year-old previously wrestled the Notorious Mimi on the independent scene before signing with NXT in March of 2022. She had worked on some NXT live events and in the women's breakout tournament. Oh, yeah, I remember who she was. Nothing really stood out about her. Maybe she wasn't getting caught up to speed in the Performance Center, so Sloane Jacobs is no longer with WWE. Eric Yan, who last wrestled in September, was also let go. She first appeared on NXT shows late last year. Damaris Griffin, who was signed less than a year ago and appeared on NXT Level Up. I mean, who watches Level Up? I mean, you got to be the most depressed soul on the planet to be watching NXT Level Up. Rue Fend is released, signed with NXT last year and had been working as an enhancement talent. And the most surprising name of all, no, Trash Legend wasn't released. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Trash Legend wasn't released. And no, Quincy Elliott wasn't released either. So we may have to wait on those. But Bodie Hayward was released. Bodie Hayward, a part of Chase U with Andre Chase, one of the more likable acts coming out of the NXT 2.0 era. He had been in skits and vignettes with Andre Chase University and Andre Chase with Thea Hale. Duke Hudson took him out as a way to write him off of television in the last week or two. I'm surprised by that. I'm surprised Bodie Hayward was released. I actually enjoyed what he brought to the table. He had this. Now, I don't know if you guys watch NXT or not, but I do tune in, and I know who is who and what's going on as far as storylines and characters and developments and all that. But when Bodie Hayward was in the ring and he was doing his thing, he reminded me of a young Billy Gunn. He reminded me, he almost had like a Billy Gunn kind of fuse maybe with Chris Jericho, or early Chris Jericho type of vibe going on about him. His energy was there. He was very charismatic. He was huge on energy. He was just a ball of fire. And they let him go. I wonder why they let him go, because it seemingly looked like he was in a good spot with Chase U. And now Chase U is without their most charismatic character for the group on NXT. So I'm quite shocked by that they let him go. This is obviously just 5 names. There could be more. If there is, I will let you guys know what's going on with that. And if you're wondering why there are still releases, this just goes back to the original edict, which they still adopt in WWE today with Triple H now in charge. And obviously some of the people changed, and the people of power changing in NXT. They're still keeping that mentality in if you don't thrive and you don't get this, grasp this within 6 months, they're going to reevaluate you. They're going to talk about what to do with you. And if you're not close to being at least ready for TV and you're not performing in the Performance Center, they're going to let you go, because they have a constant influx of classes and people wanting to, try out and become a WWE superstar. They got the NIL program that they're ramping up for. I'm assuming there'll be one during Royal Rumble weekend or maybe WrestleMania weekend. They usually do it during the Big Four pay-per-views. We could see one in Survivor Series weekend. I don't know. So it is what it is, man. I feel sorry that anybody does get released, but it's just the way of the world. It's such a competitive nature inside the Performance Center, and it's tough to keep up with everything that's going on. If you don't get it, you are going to be at risk of losing your spot and potentially losing your job. So that's just the way of the world in WWE. Constant influx of talent, which then gives way to release. But if there is any more, I will let you guys know who is released and what's going on with that in the days to come, potentially. CM Punk. This is the big story today. Brian Alvarez, Dave Meltzer have talked about this to no end. And Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio yesterday invited Nick Hausman of Wrestling Inc. to talk about the situation some more, because there is now additional news and notes coming out of the last additional news and notes that Nick Hausman gave everybody. If you guys remember, Nick Hausman told Dave Meltzer about the news last week about Larry the dog and the door being kicked in and Larry getting 2 teeth loosened in the melee that was the all-out media scrum brawl. So the investigation took longer than expected due to potential legal action threats and one side not being cooperative. Punk. We know what side was not being cooperative, because the Elite are going to be back on television imminently. Now, the story about Larry came out on the same day that the Elite was given return vignettes to AEW television. And a lot of people, and I think it was kind of dumbed down and confirmed to an extent, that the story was a complete fabrication. Punk knows he lost the investigation. Punk got desperate, and that's the reason why he sent that story out there. But there were so many mixed reports about what's going on. Door was kicked in. Door was forced open. It wasn't actually kicked in. Then it was kicked in again. I don't know. A lot of things didn't add up with that whole Larry the dog situation. If Larry got his face knocked in by the door, why wasn't there immediate attention to the dog and the fighting ceasing to stop? I don't get it. The fighting should have ceased, and then Larry should have been the priority. That clearly was not the case, as they called CM Punk an enraged psychopath in that moment. Now, I didn't believe the story. I really didn't believe the story at all. I thought it was fucking bullshit. But Nick Hausman now has additional news on the investigation. He says, and I quote, "As far as I know, there aren't, but that doesn't mean that there won't be. in regards to Meltzer saying no lawsuits had been filed yet from Punk to AEW or the Elites. So no lawsuits, says Nick Hausman. That doesn't mean that there won't be. I suppose it's possible on the other side too, but I have not heard that. The key to this is so much of the stuff has not come out, and I don't know if it ever will, end quote. And Nick Hausman added that AEW had not filed any suits at Punk over his part in the situation. Meltzer noted that he doesn't expect a public statement from AEW President Tony Khan regarding the situation. We may never get a public statement from Tony Khan ever, and I don't think we should. If this investigation is concluded and the Elite is back on TV, the only thing that Tony Khan should be doing is negotiating a buyout of CM Punk's contract. Goodbye. He should not mention anything again. Punk's name should not be mentioned on TV. The likeness of Punk should not be mentioned or shown on TV. Nothing about what he did here with the all-out media scrum should be mentioned. Not saying he can't mention him ever, because he's obviously a part of now AEW history with what he did in the first year he was there, the first and only year. Not saying you got to blackball him, but he should not be mentioned from this point on in regards to what happened here. Meltzer doesn't expect a public statement and says this: as far as what the investigation shows, I don't think we'll ever know that. I don't think we'll ever hear anything from AEW on this subject again. I mean, maybe in years we might, but I don't expect to just from the fact that we got, or the facts that we got or haven't gotten, haven't heard anything from AEW in regards to any of this up until this point. Now, while Punk is still in talks with AEW about a potential contract buyout, he's on the sidelines, obviously, to undergo surgery, or if he has already undergone surgery for an injury he suffered in the main event of All Out with Jon Moxley, that will keep him sidelined until the spring of 2023. Hausman stated he's heard from people in Punk's camp that he doesn't believe Punk will wrestle ever again. Now, Nick Hausman says this, and I quote, "Cash does not seem to be an issue for CM Punk." And he calls CM Punk this guy. Cash doesn't seem to be an issue for this guy. He's got inroads in Hollywood going on right now. Stephen Amell certainly shining him up with what they're trying to do over on Stars with heels right now. I have a lot of people that have known Punk that say to me, this guy is never going to wrestle again, end quote. The only thing, and this is all I'll say on this, because even me as a fucking content creator, I'm sick of talking about this, and it's just, you know, news article after news article and speculation after speculation. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on, okay? If Punk comes back, I'm going to embrace it, and I'm going to enjoy it for what it is. If they somehow work out something, I don't know. At this point, I don't think anything's going to be worked out. If Punk goes to WWE, I'll enjoy it for what it is, but I don't really agree with it as far as a moral standpoint is concerned and a reputation standpoint is concerned. I don't think him going over there is going to be a good look for him, and I think that's what he really needs to start paying attention to. But as far as Punk, there's only one way out of all of this. He did what he did. He came in, he made his money. He's going to get his money from Tony Khan. He tried to come back and make a difference, which he did. He did make a difference. I don't want to hear about Punk not making a difference. Punk certainly made a difference and could be a difference maker if things did get resolved, but I don't think they will. CM Punk was an integral part of the growth of AEW. This is a huge hill that they now have to venture over, and there will be sunshine and rainbows in the future. Whenever that is, I don't know. This was just a black cloud that happened to just come on in and roll through AEW town, and it's going to get better. It's not going to stay like this forever. CM Punk absolutely made a difference. He did. And a lot of good can come out of this. A lot of good can come out of this. Now we got leaders in the locker room like Jon Moxley, Chris Jericho, and Bryan Danielson. Leaders that were there, but they didn't really stamp their flag into the AEW mountain. They were there, and they were present, but they didn't really make it official. Now we got those three guys leading the locker room, and we got a bunch of hungry, young, up-and-coming, bright talent that is going to be the future of this company, thirsty once again, instead of sitting amongst this dark cloud of negativity that was the Elite, Hangman Page, Colt Cabana, and CM Punk. Another good that comes out of this is Tony Khan really needs to take this, assess it, and really become a fucking boss. And he is going to slowly become a boss and not deal with the bullshit by getting rid of CM Punk. Getting rid of CM Punk and issuing a buyout for his contract is going to be a huge statement for Tony Khan's morale, the respect that people give Tony Khan, and it's going to be a locker room discussion that, hey, we actually now have Tony Khan being a boss, because it is a very difficult decision to make, to sit there with CM Punk as your number one guy, knowing that you can make money off of him if he stays. That is a respectable thing for a boss to do, because he is showing he cares about us. If he's willing to get rid of CM Punk that easily, that is a great move for us, a great move for the company, and a great move for the reputation of Tony Khan as a fucking leader of AEW. And I think that is fantastic, and that's what he needs to do. That's what he needs to do. That should be his sole focus for AEW. And it also tells everybody, this is a huge, huge deal as well. It also tells everybody in the back, and it doesn't matter who it is. It could be fucking the highest of the high and the lowest of the lows. If you fuck with Tony Khan, if you fuck with AEW and you get out of line like Punk did, I don't give a shit who you are or how much money you are making. You will not have a job here if you do what he did. Anywhere close to what he did. Never mind what he did. What he did was fucking the extent of it. That was the fucking creme de la creme. That was the top of the fucking mountain that he did. An absolute fucking shit show. If you fucking do 1/10 of what he did and defile the company's name and disrespect the company's name and disrespect me, you're gone. You're gone. So all of this, there is a lot of positive to come out of this. But there's only one thing that CM Punk can do, and that is retire. He cannot go back to WWE. He will be forever tarnished. Nobody will look at him the same ever again if he goes back to WWE. Why would he go back to WWE? Why? Money? Nick Hausman says he doesn't need the money. Nick Hausman says he doesn't need the money. Why would he go back to WWE? To fuck over Tony Khan? Tony Khan legitimately gave you everything you fucking wanted. And you, I'm not saying Tony Khan is innocent. You threw him under the bus. You threw the company under the bus. Why would you want to do that to him when he basically gave you everything and befriended you like he was, like you were his own brother? Or like you were Tony Khan's brother? Tony Khan made you fucking family. You're going to fucking disrespect him like that? And go to WWE? No. I can't see that happening. Why would you do that? Nobody will ever believe CM Punk ever again if he goes back to WWE. His reputation will forever be ruined until the day that man is in the grave. If not already. I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking about CM Punk. Some people still want him back. I get it. I understand it completely. Seriously. But there's only one move to make. Buy him out and he retires. That's it. There's no other career move for CM Punk. Hollywood is the only way. Hollywood is the only way. Then you can mingle amongst the egos of Hollywood and not get involved with locker room drama in AEW or WWE. WWE has filed trademarks for a tournament as a standalone event. WWE has trademarked Queen of the Ring. Not Queen's Crown. I don't know what the fuck that was about. Queen of the Ring has been trademarked with the United States Patent and Trademark Office on October 28th. It looks like we are getting Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring returning in 2023. It's listed for several uses, including clothing and entertainment services. Just like other matches, Hell in a Cell and Money in the Bank, when the company brought back the King of the Ring tournament last year, they also held a tournament for the women's division called the Queen's Crown Tournament. Zelina Vega won the inaugural female tournament, which ended up being one of the worst things on WWE television all year. It was a complete fucking mockery of any tournament I've ever seen, and it was a complete disaster. Meltzer reported last week that WWE is considering bringing back King and Queen of the Ring as standalone events. The idea behind the event is for it to be a show that would be both King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring. I don't know. Are we going to do both King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring on the same show? I don't really think that's a good idea. Maybe if they make it, I don't know how they could possibly make that work. Maybe we just do the semifinals of each tournament, then lead into the finals. I would like to see, honestly, I've said this for years, I would love to see the King of the Ring tournament brought back in all of its glory as a one-night tournament on pay-per-view, the way that they did it in 1993. That's the way I would love to see it. When Bret Hart won the King of the Ring tournament, coming out of that botched WrestleMania 9 fucking ridiculous ending with Hulk Hogan and Yokozuna, they gave him the King of the Ring tournament as a consolation prize then. I would love to see that just be a full-fledged tournament in one single night. Now, to do both King and Queen of the Ring in one night, I think that may be a little overwhelming, but King of the Ring on pay-per-view and Queen of the Ring taking place on Raw and SmackDown, I mean, that's not a bad deal either. That's the way I would go about it. But the fact that they are trademarking Queen of the Ring, now it's confirmation that we are getting King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring in 2023, and that to me is very, very exciting. We'll see what happens. I said this for years, man. Like I said, King of the Ring would be the ideal pay-per-view following WrestleMania to fit in between WrestleMania and SummerSlam and have it be that bridge to SummerSlam. Winner of the King of the Ring tournament, whether it's Raw or SmackDown, gets a guaranteed world title shot for whichever title is on your brand at SummerSlam. I think that would be great. Let's try and work towards that for 2023. We got news on Sasha Banks. I mentioned this last night. Sasha Banks rumors are now once again heating up, as they should be, because Survivor Series is in Boston and War Games is going to be a major, major selling point for Survivor Series in Boston, Massachusetts. Dave Meltzer noted on the forums over at Wrestling Observer yesterday that Banks was a guest at a show in Mexico City over the weekend. Banks was said to be hanging out with Bayley and AAA wrestler Mamba, who took them both out to a dinner and some drinks after the night was over. Last week, Banks and Naomi were on the red carpet with The New Day and the Usos for the world premiere of Black Panther. The appearance in Mexico and last week's red carpet appearance appeared to be a good sign for Sasha Banks returning to the WWE. There was also video or footage, maybe a picture about Sasha Banks training in a ring, potentially for an in-ring return. We don't know where that was or where the whereabouts of that was. It may have been in Mexico. We don't know. But all of this is kind of lining up to Sasha Banks returning to the WWE. Meltzer reported last week that Banks is still under contract, and there were talks happening, but there were hang-ups delaying her return, more than likely over the monetary value of the contract. And Sasha Banks obviously wants more money. Sasha Banks knows that they need her. It's not the other way around. And I think that they will do anything that they can to keep Sasha Banks, who honestly is not even in her prime as a female professional wrestler in WWE. I think this is great. They need her. This is awesome. And I said this last night, and I don't want to dive too much into it. The women's division is, it's okay. It's there. There is some great talent to come out of that women's division. Obviously, they need Sasha Banks because, to me, she's the biggest star in the entire division. It's not Bianca. It's not Charlotte. It's not Becky. It's not Bayley. Sasha is the star of the entire WWE women's division. If you give me one choice at picking a face of the women's division, it's Sasha Banks. The women's tag team titles in the women's division right now and the overall state of what we've seen on television since Damage Control was brought up to the main roster, Dakota Kai brought back, Io called up from NXT, Bayley, all three of them are now Damage Control. Everybody was excited to come out of SummerSlam to see this fresh faction, these new faces. Bayley's back. Everybody was excited. They have them go into a tournament. They have them lose the tournament. Raquel and Aaliyah win the tournament for whatever fucking reason. Aaliyah is absolute fucking dog shit at what she does. She's not good. And Raquel, again, you know, I like Raquel, but it's seemingly just a revolving door of partners for Raquel. They're doing the Rhea Ripley, you know, thing that Vince did with Rhea. It's like every week, Rhea Ripley had a new fucking partner. So Raquel and Aaliyah win the tournament. Nobody knows why. I complain about it. Many people complain about it. I get fucking crucified for it, even though everybody said the same fucking thing. 2 weeks later, they give the tag team titles back to, or not back, I should say, to Dakota Kai and Io Sky, which should have been the original plan to give the championships to them. So they debut at SummerSlam. They lose the tournament, which was cursed from the get-go because there was 2 teams injured in the tournament that did not participate. They lose the finals to Raquel and Aaliyah. Then they get the titles eventually 2 weeks later, and they do nothing with them. They do nothing with them. Why don't they do anything with the tag team championships? Because there are no teams in the division. There are absolutely no teams in the division. And if you want to argue with me, well, they got Raquel and Shots. That's not a tag team. That is not a tag. Well, they got Alexa and Asuka. No, that's not a tag team. This is a random pairing of women to go up against Damage Control because they need opponents. That's not a tag team. I'm sorry. Casey Catanzaro or Katana Chance and Kaden Carter are a tag team. That is the only other tag team in WWE. That's it. Everybody else is a random pairing. So what you do by focusing on the tag team titles and desperately trying to make them relevant, what you're doing is not working. The tag team champions from Raquel to Aaliyah to Damage Control, what did that do? Nothing. Okay, Damage Control has Bianca's girls to feud with. Now, you got this feud going on. All you have for TV is a tag team match eventually, mix and match of tag team matches with all these women feuding going into Survivor Series. And then the normal WWE thing to do is take tag teams and make singles matches out of the women there. Give us Dakota versus Asuka or Alexa versus Io and fucking any which way combination of matches you can come up with. And then they have Damage Control lose most of those matches. So you made these women tag team champions and they haven't gotten a solid victory as a tag team. One, you want to put them in singles matches and think that's the easy thing to do. It doesn't matter. It's a singles match. It's not a tag team match. But they're still representing the tag team championships. That's the problem. Okay, so now you take the tag team championships and we get that match with Bianca's girls. Like last night on Monday Night Raw, we get Asuka and Alexa Bliss winning the tag team championships. Now, again, I'm going to go back to what I just mentioned. What's next? So you go from Raquel to Aaliyah to Dakota and Io. Okay, what was next? All right, we got Bianca and her girls. Now we got Alexa and Asuka winning the fucking title. What is next? What is next? Another match with Dakota and Io? I don't want to see that shit. Nobody wants to see that shit again. It's always the same fucking thing with WWE and the tag team championships. No matter if it's the women or the men, it's always the same thing. Now they have the championships on the baby faces, and where do they go next with the tag team championships? They have nowhere else to go. This is why Sasha Banks, to me, is the ideal thing creatively for her to come back. Sasha Banks being the one to join Bayley, Naomi being the one to join Bayley, making them 5. Damage Control has not worked. Damage Control has not worked. They don't gel. There's no charisma. There's no personality. They don't fucking fuse together. People are really like, oh my God, indifferent to them. There's nothing that stands out about them. Nothing about their reign has been memorable. Nothing that they have done has been, oh my God, I gotta see it. So what are we doing with them? What have we done to them? What is the direction here? Mid? Mediocre? I don't want to see that happen. Sasha and Naomi are the only thing that would save Damage Control. Only thing that would save Damage Control. Bayley is not a born leader. She is not a good leader by herself. Bayley always worked better. Now, I don't want to say always because when she was a heel by herself, she was just firing on all cylinders. But something doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right about this. Bayley was so fucking good with Sasha. That's what she needs. She needs somebody to feed off of her. She needs somebody there that is going to just bring out the best in her. It's not Dakota and it's not Io. Sasha's going to be that. 5 for Damage Control, and then you bring Becky back, and you got War Games. And you got War Games. Simple. You got Damage Control with Bayley, Dakota, Io, Sasha, Naomi against Bianca, Candice LeRae, Asuka, Bliss, and Becky Lynch, who's returning. That's it. There's nothing else that I want to see but that. So Sasha Banks, I do think will be back. All this rumor and innuendo and speculation about Sasha Banks, I do think it's happening. Sasha will be at War Games, in my honest opinion, because A, it's in Boston, dead giveaway, and B, that woman is about moments. That woman is about firsts. That woman is about making memories. She wants to be a part of every fucking thing that WWE could have about a women's division. She wants to be in the annals of WWE history. First time, all you need to tell Sasha Banks is, hey, first time ever War Games. Get it before you even finish the fucking sentence. I guarantee you Sasha Banks is going to be in that fucking match. Guarantee it. No matter what it is. Why? Because that woman is fucking hungry for just building a legacy and building memories and making fucking moments. That's what she wants. She wants things to make sense. And if that lends itself to making War Games better, I'm all in as a fan. I really am. So Damage Control definitely needs a boost. And I think that boost is Sasha Banks. And I do think she will be back. I do. Kevin Owens is going to be back. Kevin Owens was the topic of discussion on Wrestle Votes. Owens isn't currently on television because Triple H has paused plans for KO due to how over Sami Zayn's involvement is with the Bloodline. And he's gotten over to a point where he may be the hottest guy in the entire company. Now, WrestleVote says, and I quote, he was pegged to get involved with Sami in the Bloodline, but that's white hot right now. Those plans, from what I've been told, are definitely pushed back, but they're not off because the plan is for Kevin Owens to be with Sami Zayn eventually. Good. That's the way it should be. Sami's involvement in the group was only supposed to last a few weeks, but now that's changed. This is something that Zayn recently talked about in an interview, saying he didn't really expect all this to happen, but he takes it week by week, and he's just grateful that the fans are really enjoying it. Whatever they have planned for Kevin Owens is totally on pause because this stuff with Sami doesn't come around often. This was supposed to be a little 3-4 week comedy deal, and it's getting big. End quote. I like that they are very attentive to this. I like the fact that they're listening, they're hearing the fans, they're taking and applying. Because we are the voice. If we don't like it, we will say so. If we like it, we will say so. We have loved it. WWE is taking that and applying. And for that, I appreciate. That's something that we didn't get with the past administration. Although Owens has continued to work house shows, his last televised match came on August 26th on Monday Night Raw, where he teamed with Johnny Gargano to defeat Alpha Academy, Chad Gable, and Otis. Good. This is all leading to KO being back. I am okay with KO being off television. If you are waiting for KO to come on into this storyline when it makes sense, and there really isn't anything going on for him right now, maybe there's something for him to do at Survivor Series. I fully expect him to be a part of Survivor Series. I fully expect him to be in Boston. But there's no reason for him to be on television. He's not someone that travels to Saudi for the Saudi Arabia shows in Riyadh. So it's okay that he's not on television. And the fact that this is now being taken and it's being extended as far as the Bloodline storyline with Sami Zayn, but he is also still going to be involved in it. It's just waiting for the right time to put him in and get him involved. I am okay with that. That is fine. Kevin Owens knows that this is going to be a major storyline. If I'm Kevin Owens, I'm fucking giddy. I can't wait to get in there with what's going on. This is going to be fucking massive. WrestleMania moments for both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, that is going to be truly remarkable to see them win the tag team championships from the Usos at WrestleMania. That is going to be unbelievable. So if I'm Kevin Owens, I'm fucking giddy. I can't wait to get involved with this shit. And if I got to sit out, several weeks for it to be my time and be ready, by all means, keep me out as long as you need. I'm ready when it's about to go down. I love it. I love it. And finally, guys, the female partner for Rhea Ripley and the Judgment Day that the OC will bring to television may have been revealed. Now, WWE, there are rumors about Tegan Nox coming in, Mia Yim, Chelsea Green. I said all three will probably be back with WWE at some point within the next few months. And I was saying, well, Chelsea Green could fit in there. They could do that with the OC and Chelsea Green's Impact ties, bring her on over, right? Mia Yim would be great as a battle with Rhea Ripley. I think that would be awesome. Tegan Nox is somebody that Rhea Ripley and, everything that she's got going on right now. There's history there with Tegan Nox and Rhea Ripley. If you guys remember, Rhea Ripley was actually in the match that Tegan Nox injured herself in at the Mae Young Classic the first time. So that would be fucking great if they want to go back and tell that story. But the rumor going around right now is that it will be Raquel Gonzalez. So if you judge by WWE's recent house shows in Mexico this past weekend, the favorite is going to be Raquel Rodriguez, as she teamed up with Rey Mysterio and the OC's AJ Styles against Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley, with Rodriguez's team coming out on top in both matches. Now, of course, WWE could go in a different direction on TV, and this was a show in Mexico that was merely a house show, but it's the most evidence right now that the community has so far as to who the OC will be choosing to combat Rhea Ripley. Rodriguez and Ripley's close real-life relationship and friendship has been referenced on WWE TV before, and it could be easy for them to kind of weave that in and build a storyline around it and include her in this storyline with the OC and Judgment Day. If not Rodriguez, who else? I just mentioned a couple of names. Tegan Nox would be a great choice. Mia Yim, Chelsea Green would make very good choices as well. But they may go in-house with this, and they may go with Rodriguez, as she has the size and the ability to match up with Rhea Ripley. She's been dominating as of late. And listen, it's a good spot. It's a good spot for Raquel Rodriguez because she really isn't doing much of anything on SmackDown right now. So to take her from there and put her in this storyline with the OC and Judgment Day, I think would be a good deal for Raquel and get her some exposure against the obviously white-hot Rhea Ripley. Guys, that's all I got for you. If you enjoyed today's extra, let me know with a comment down below. Let me know what you think of all the top stories, whether it's CM Punk, the NXT releases, Sasha Banks, you name it. Comment section is yours. Hit that thumbs up, 1,000 likes minimum on today's OTS Extra. Also, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below, turn on the bell for notifications, and go check out the Monday Night Raw podcast from last night and episode 450 on Sunday night, where I addressed the Jade Cargill situation. That is on the homepage right now if you missed any content. And you'll see me and Jesse live. It's going to be a big night on Wednesday. Dynamite post-show right here on OTS following Dynamite on Wednesday night. Until then, guys, thank you so much. Enjoy your Tuesdays, and I'll see you back live Wednesday for AEW. Better be a 5-star classic, man. Better be a 5-star classic.